Hey guys, this is the Mind Dump crew with Emily and Peyton, and we are here with the Season 2 winner of the Gauntlet from roosterteeth.com. Ilan, I'm never ever going to be able to pronounce your last name, so I'm not even going to try.
It's okay, I don't know how to pronounce it either.
So obviously you got on the show, so you went to RTX in the 2013 year. What was that experience like for you, going through the competition there to get on the show to begin with?
Man, it's definitely a pretty wild journey. It's funny because I went to RTX by myself because none of my friends wanted to go because none of my friends really like Rooster Teeth stuff. So I wound up going to RTX by myself. So that in itself was a little bit intimidating. And then as soon as I got in the line for the first day, I saw the gigantic sign that said, oh, Gauntlet 2 tryouts here, blah, blah, blah. Figured, I'm probably not going to make it, but might as well go have fun and try it. So I went, and I knew the only chance I would possibly have of getting through the first round was through trials, because, when they did the competition at RTX, they had 4 games. The first one they had was Trials Evolution. The second one they had was Battle Block Theater. The third one they had was Geometry Wars, and the last one was Splosion Man. So what they wound up doing is they took 4 people from each of those games, like the top 4 scorers of each of those games, and had them do the finals on the main stage at RTX. And luck would have it, I somehow made it on the top 4 for Trials. So that was on Friday, right? And RTX was a weekend-long thing, so it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Saturday, didn't have to think about anything, just had to confirm that I was going to be there Sunday, and Sunday was going to be the big final up on the stage. Then Sunday finally comes. I had to leave the slow-mo guys shoot a little bit early because I thought I was going to be late. But turns out the producer was there, so I left for nothing. It was awesome. But so there were 17 of us, because I guess there was an error with the scoring on one of the other games. So there were 17 of us, and they split us up into 2 groups, one group of 9 and one group of 8. And one group was going to play Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, because Ghost wasn't out at that time, and the other group was going to play Need for Speed, Most Wanted. And so they started drawing names out of a hat to get people to go up and play Call of Duty, and the whole time I was praying that it wasn't going to be me, because as much as I played Call of Duty, I suck at it. So they called everybody up. Luckily, I wasn't one of the ones chosen. People played, and the two people on there that you will recognize are Stan and Jaden, were the guys that made it in through Call of Duty. And then, lastly, they just put the rest of us up for Need for Speed. And luck would have it, I was playing the shit out of Need for Speed the entire summer right before RTX. So I knew I had somewhat of a chance. And comes to the end of the race, and it's me and Corey, first and second. And they took the top 4 from each group. So they took the top 4 from Call of Duty and the top 4 from Need for Speed. And they took us up into the upper floors of the convention center to do those funny interviews that you saw in the second episode with Joel. And that in itself was pretty hysterical because there was 8 of us being led up to the upper floors, and of course that's the green room and like all the lounges. So immediately we saw Gus, and Gus was about to kick us out until somebody representing us came and said, "Oh no, they're here to shoot the gauntlet." Blah blah blah. It was pretty funny. So they had us do that entire interview thing with Joel, which was pretty scary. Because, like, at the end it came out hysterical, but, man, Joel is an intimidating guy in person. Like, his stare is, oh, God, it's staring right through you. Like, there's no way to describe it. It's just extremely intimidating. But yeah, so they said out of the 8 of us, 4 were going to be picked, and they didn't tell us anything else. They just had us sign contracts to keep our mouths shut and all that, and that was it for RTX. So, yeah, it was definitely a pretty interesting ride starting there and everything else that led up after that.
Yeah, so during, like, the whole competition, from the trials right to the final, what was, like, the toughest challenge that you think that you personally for you?
The toughest challenge?
Yeah, like the toughest game against the monsters or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna say trials. Like getting in through the first round was definitely the hardest thing, simply because so many people tried out. So we constantly had to keep checking back on the scores, make sure I was still up there. And secondly, it's trials, so anything and everything can go either extremely right or extremely wrong. Like it's just depending on the gravity for the game you're playing. So it could have gone either way so many times.
I'm actually going to ask 2 questions right in a row. How many times did you go through the trials line?
I'm trying to remember. And it's funny because that's where I met Stan, was going through the lines. But I think I went a total of 5 times. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, because I went twice in the very beginning of the day, and that's where I posted my first score. And then... sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to go on to my next question, but if you weren't finished, go ahead.
No, yeah, it was just the first two times right in the beginning of the day, beginning of the convention. And then I noticed that somebody had beaten my score and knocked me out, so I went back another 3 times and managed to get it. So maybe 4 or 5 times.
Okay, so then we all obviously know the Rooster Teeth crew, and we know what they're like normally, but however, they didn't act normally on the show. So what was it like behind cameras meeting with the Rooster Teeth crew and all the camera people and Gus and Bernie and all the Achievement Hunter people? What was that like behind the scenes compared to the ridicule that we saw them give you on camera?
Man, it's actually really funny because aside from, the whole act of them hating us, they act exactly like you see them on camera. Like, they're extremely goofy, they're extremely nice, they're just all around, like, incredible people. And that was something that was extremely refreshing to see, because as soon as we walked in, I think the first person that we met was Gavin, because Gavin and Michael walked into the room where we were, and Gavin was really hungover. And the first thing I heard from Michael was, "You look dead." In that exact same accent that he always uses. It was just one of those things that was like, wow, these people are the exact same as they are on camera. They're actually genuine. This is going to be great.
After meeting them all, as a follow-on from that, would you say you had a favorite or your favorite had changed?
No, I don't think I have a favorite because they're all extremely nice people, and everybody has their ups and downs. So I don't think it's, and plus because we just met for such a short amount of time. I think we were 4 or 5 days together. I don't think I got to know them as much as I'd like, but they're the exact same on camera as they are off camera, and that's something that I really, to be completely honest, I wasn't expecting to see. But as soon as I saw it, I was extremely happy.
So for those of who don't know about the charity that you chose to give them money to, explain what the charity was and why you chose it and your involvement in it, if any.
Oh, sure. The charity I decided to pick was the Save the Music Foundation. It's run by VH1. And what they do is they help keep music education in public schools, especially those public schools that are suffering from extreme budget cuts and everything else, simply because a lot of administrators decide that the arts in general are secondary, and to me that's completely wrong. And the reason why I chose it was because I grew up with music. I played the bass trombone now. I got my degree in music, and I currently teach. So seeing kids that are completely interested in it is great. But what makes me really, really upset that it's getting cut is I had the opportunity to find my passion in music. So thinking about kids that won't ever get to find that passion because these programs are getting cut is extremely upsetting to me. That's why I decided to donate to that charity.
If there was any game that you didn't get a chance to play, during the competition, what would you have liked to have played?
What would I have liked? I would have loved to play Tetris. I'll be honest. I was ready. I was ready, but and it's funny because they had that TV up. And they definitely fooled us. Because Corey and I got really excited when we saw Tetris on that TV, but they had us do dive kick instead, which was also great. I'm not complaining.
After your meeting and experiencing all the people from both the company and the people who made it into the show from RTX, have you stayed in contact with anyone past the show, or was it just like, oh, hey, we're best friends for the weekend, see you later?
Well, actually, yeah, we've all been in contact. Like, if you check on Twitter, I think Rooster Teeth tweeted out all our handles, and I'm not going to bother remembering because I don't even remember my own at this point. We're all keeping in touch constantly. Like, we're always tweeting back and forth to each other. We actually texted each other when the final episode went up. And these are the guys on the community team I'm talking about. And it's funny because we're actually planning on getting together at PAX East. So anybody that's going, you can come hang out with us there. But and as far as the people in the company goes, they're extremely busy. So I wasn't expecting to stay in contact, but it's funny because like every once in a while it'd be like, oh, hey, how's everything? Blah, 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 blah. So it's great.
That's fun. I've got a, this is not a serious one. This is one that one of my friends was like, you have to ask him this. I was like, fine. Is camping a legitimate strategy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. It's really funny because we didn't get to see the actual Unreal Tournament round. But Miles, as soon as it was over, Miles busted into the dressing room saying, God damn it, Greg won by camping. And it was great.
Oh, so you weren't even, allowed in the room when they were filming that?
No, we were actually in the back of the dressing room. I think they were going to keep whoever made it through a surprise for us, but Miles kind of ruined that, if that was their plan. It's just it's speculation on my part. There we go.
So how long was the shooting? I think you might have mentioned it earlier, but I forgot about it. Was it just a one-day, all-day event, or was it a several-day venture? And if it was a several-day venture, what was, travel expenses, and what was your... We all know that you guys roomed together because there was an RT Life. You guys, flooded your bathroom or something.
That's the guy I saw.
Yeah, actually, it was... we were there for a week. They hired us for 7 days, so we got there on September 20th, and they put us up in the hotel, and we actually were not rooming together. They gave us separate rooms, which was a really, really good idea, especially after the toilet thing. But yeah, it was an entire 4-day shoot of just all day, show up at 8 a.m., and we didn't get go until 6 or 7 p.m. But it's funny because while the days were long, after you got home, after we all got home, it was kind of oh, let's just go grab dinner and go to bed. We're not even going out. But they seemed long afterwards, but during it was just a complete blur. Because it was always oh, we have to do this, then we have to do this, then we have to do this. And while there was a lot of downtime in between it, interacting with everybody made it extremely fun.
When you first saw that they were doing trials for it at RTX, did you ever think to yourself that it would get this far and that you would come out at the end the winner?
Nope. It's funny. I just thought I was going to try out for fun. And as soon as I started getting my scores up in comparison to other people, I started thinking, hey, I might have a chance. Who knows? And sure enough, hey, here we are.
What involvement did you have with the community, if any, before this? Were you in any community groups, or did you sponsor anything through the community, or were you just magically there just watching?
Well, I joined the actual website about 2 years ago. I'm a very latecomer, and I found Rooster Teeth and the podcast and everything through Achievement Hunter just by chance. So while I haven't really contributed that much to the community just yet, I think the main thing I've contributed so far is there's one video that got posted of mine in the Community Hunter channel. But I think that just about involves everything I've done so far. I am hoping to do a lot more.
If you could have picked anyone from the original lineup of people competing, would you have picked anyone different to go against in the final? Like, would you prefer to go against anyone else?
No. I think the way everything played out was pretty great. And it's funny because after I got home from the competition, I was thinking, oh man, I should have done that. Oh man, I should have done this differently. But after that, at the end of the day, everything played out in my favor, so I really shouldn't complain in any way. But I'm glad it played out the way it did. I really am.
Okay, so I'm done with the serious questions. Here comes the real meat of the conversation. Boxers or briefs?
Boxers or briefs? Oh, man. How about boxer briefs?
Oh, tricky man. Not making any decisions, leaving the hard work to other people.
Absolutely. What if my legs didn't know they were legs? Well, man, I have no idea.
Mind blown.
I am. I don't have an answer for this one. Well, actually, if my legs didn't know they were legs, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to walk.
Oh, well said. Well, anyway, I think that'll wrap us up with our interview with Ilan. This will be posted on Wednesdays because you will know that because you'll be watching it, but I don't know why I just said that. But check back next Wednesday for another interview from another community spotlight. And this is the Mind Dump Podcast checking off.
Heyo.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Ilan.
Great.
Very lovely.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah, you were one of the people that originally was like, oh hey, I'll help you with the podcast, and then you were like, oh hey, I'm busy. So I was like, because I have another interview lined up for next week already, which is gonna be awesome. But so I was just like, I'll get him in here first. He was gung ho about it, even though he's busy. So I'll see if I can fit him in somewhere.
Yeah,
So yeah, thank you.
I still feel horrible about that, man.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah.
We got it all to work out. We just had a person don't feel bad because you could have done what the other person did, and they got 3 weeks into it, and they didn't show up for our meeting time that we do on Sundays. And then afterwards, she messaged me, and she's like, "Well, yeah, I'm kind of busy, so I can't kind of do it."
Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, because
So yeah,
what happened with me was I